Hello everyone, I'm very happy to see you. My name is Joseph. However, I'm going to show you one sister from Habesha community in Ethiopia. This sister opening the Pandora box speak out about anti-Blackness and the Colorisme in Ethiopia against dark people Ethiopians and the others African. Please watch.
And that is even more important for me now that I have children born to a Nigerian father, dark-skinned children, and I've experienced so much colorism and anti-Blackness in my family. Luckily not from my mother, who is a very mindful about this issue, who always speaks up whenever she witnesses colorism. But in my extended family, I've experienced so many cases where I had to respond to colorist remarks about my children. I walk into a restaurant or cafe with my children. The people, they ask me, "Your children don't look Ethiopian. Is their father black?" And this is a very interesting comment because it implies that Ethiopians don't consider themselves as black, at least Habesha people, because, you know, Ethiopia is a country where you have so many different ethnic societies, right? And not everyone is light-skinned. And so there are many people who identify themselves as Habesha people, especially among those who identify themselves as Habesha, mainly people from northern Ethiopia, central Ethiopia, who also don't consider themselves as black. However, it's still very common to hear light-skinned Habesha people in Ethiopia and also in Eritrea refer to darker-skinned people, not just Ethiopians, as barriers, which essentially means slave. And it even makes me more mad when I see that, you know, it is undeniable that colorism is a big problem in Ethiopia. Just look at the crew of the Ethiopian airline. You will not find a single dark-skinned stewardess on board of the Ethiopian Airlines. And of course, there are some people who said that's not true. I've spotted one. Good for you. You've spotted one out of how many? You can clearly see that there is a preference for lighter-skinned Ethiopians. So stay delusional, right? These things you can stay blind to them, but facts speak for themselves. It is clear that Ethiopia has a big colorism issue, and you can see that in so many institutions. Last year, when we went to the immigration office in Addis Ababa, me and my mother, we were sitting there in the waiting hall when this beautiful, tall, dark-skinned man entered the room. And there were a few ladies who were starting to gossip about him. There was this one lady, she was speaking in Amharic and saying, "Oh my God, have you seen how dark this man is? If I would have seen him in the village, in the mountains, I would drop dead out of fear." I'm so proud of my mom. I really, if you think I am cool, you should meet my mom. Like, she is so courageous. She always speaks out and she's so fearless. She looked at this woman and said to her, why would you get scared? Can't you see he's a human being like you? And then this woman, she was like a little bit uncomfortable, right? Because normally people, when they speak like this in public, they don't receive much, you know, contestation. Where people told me, I used to work for the African Union, a friend from Uganda, for instance, and people were making noises of monkeys when he would go through the streets, right? There's so many people who have been insulted because of their dark skin in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa in particular, especially since Addis Ababa is the headquarter of the African Union. You will find Africans from across the continent living and working in Addis Ababa, and a lot of them have made these negative experiences. But we don't even have to go so far and ask dark-skinned Africans who work and live in Ethiopia. If you want to contest the claim that Ethiopia has a colorism issue, ask any native from the Gambela region or from the Benishangul Gumus region, right?